Hello everyone, this is Gunjan from OrangeSlates and we have Sophia here who is an artist with us. So today we begin our session on visual design for educators. Let me share my screen with you. I hope you can see the screen. Just a second. Yeah. So visual design for educators. Why visual design? So we generally feel that visual design is meant for artist or a web designer or a graphic designer. Why should a teacher actually bother with visual design, right? So this is a small session on how we can integrate art and design which our everyday teaching session. So visual design principles are not only meant for artists, not only meant for graphic designers or web designers. We as teachers and educators can also use it. So before this, I was in an institute called Indian Institutes of Gem and Jewelry, where we used to teach elements of art and design to students. And that is where it clicked me why, why can't we as teachers use it in everyday life? So here we go. I'm sharing some common symbols in school. Can you recognize the first one, Sophia? So I can't hear her. So it's obviously, don't keep quiet. These are signs which we generally see near the schools on the roads. It says school crossing or go slow. And this is a cute design for a washroom for girls and boys. So these are symbols. If you see one picture tells 1,000 words. So these are symbols which we use, and now we use so many videos, pictures, graphic organizers, so much more to teach our students, right? Why not use it with the understanding of principles of design so that we can use those design principles to use in our sessions better? So what do we take here, as a takeaway for this session is that you will learn the basic concept of visual design. I know most of us know, but how it can be used in education and what are these elements and principles of design which can help us design better learning material. Finally, the aim of all teachers are so that our students enjoy, understand, and learn more, right? So here I try to tell you that design is for everyone, not only for artists and not only for graphic designers. I say that with gumption because I myself am not an artist. I can't draw a leaf to save my life. But I'm being using these principles in my instruction design work or my curriculum design or a session designs very beautifully. So what is a visual? What do you think is a visual? Here, this is a strong picture of a teacher or a performer thinking of, a beautiful lesson or a beautiful performance, right? This is what we are here for. So teachers are no longer, just teachers. We are facilitators, we are entertainers, we become guides. So we are so much in one, right? So what is a visual? It is nothing, it's graphic representation of your information and ideas. So this is an idea of a successful classroom or a successful, session by a teacher or a artist, whatever. But how this visual becomes a communication is that when it is effective, right? This picture is very effective. It shows the dream of a teacher, right? When you do communication, if you've done your BEd and you know that sender has to encode his message, receiver has to decode and receive it and send the feedback to the sender, then only the loop of communication is complete. So a loop of visual communication or visual is complete only when there is common understanding of one visual by everybody. Yeah, you can have different perspectives to it, but the story or the idea behind is one. So that is effective visual communication. So let us see how we have actually been doing visual communication in education without actually, knowing that it is visual communication. So these are some iconic visuals. The first one, can you recognize Sophia? Uh, I think I can't hear Sophia currently, but anyway, this is the Bloom's taxonomy triangle. We all know this. We know that, first you have to, these are steps. Once you know, then you understand, then you apply, then you analyze. So there's a hierarchy to it, right? Plus, there, if you see, the triangle is divided into equal parts. So you don't have knowledge which is bigger or evaluation and synthesis which are bigger. They're almost the same. Which then again you're trying to say that all the levels are important, right? So that is the power of just one visual. Such a big concept taught in one visual, right? This is another visual very, very widely used in education. We all make 5E lesson plans. Now we make 7E lesson plans. So again, this is not a hierarchy. This is showing us connections, right? This is a cyclic model. So you might start from explore or you might start from engage. So there's no hard bound where you start from, but you go in a cyclic model, and the core of it is evaluation. So you evaluated each stage. This is again a very, very big concept. We design 2 to 3 hours of lessons, or sometimes whole, curriculum based on this concept, but it is explained only in one visual here. And this is the favorite of all teachers, right? So this is the water cycle, which shows precipitation, condensation, evaporation, flowing of water to the rivers and from snow and trees and everything. Again, taught from class KG2 now, I think, not even class 1. I think grade KG2 to, class 8, 9, we learn this concept at different levels. Again, very strong use of visuals. So what is visual design? As I explained, it is using visuals to give hierarchy, connection, and memory to your information. So if you are, designing a lesson plan, you divide into small chunks. You give the main concept first and then discuss the subtopics. That is giving hierarchy to your lesson, right? That is giving connections to your previous knowledge. And you use lot of visuals. So nowadays we use, graphic organizers, we are using movies, you're using YouTube, then we go and use simulations, so that, all the senses of the students are engaged and you learn in a better manner. So that is as visual design. Now, this is a picture I wanted to show you. It's a very strong picture, it says a lot of words. So this is a picture which is taken from a blog. We'll see what the blog says later. But if you see, I think that lady is trying to, Photoshop the picture of the child. There's a lot of colors. She's holding a panel of colors. There's hue of colors on the tab, on the computer, kept on the table. So there's a lot of balance, harmony, unity in this picture. If you see, the background is blurred. So again, the whole picture is trying to tell you the story. So let's see what this blog is about. It's about how to become a visual designer, right? As teachers, we all want to become visual designers and instructional designers so that we can reach our students better. How this picture is talking to us, we want our lessons to talk to our children. Why not? Right? So let's say some basic principles of design. The first is balance. Balance is nothing but the weight of your picture or your content, or your cognitive weight of the subject you are teaching. So we need to make balance. If you remember, generally when we design a lesson, there'll be a hook activity in the beginning, then we'll do some other activities so that children understand more. Then we present the content, then we do a quick, formative assessment, and then we do a summary, right? So what we are doing is we are trying to create a balance in the whole lesson so that at the end the objectives are met, right? That is as simple as balance. The next is contrast. Contrast is nothing but negative and positive spaces. If you can see, there's a black and white space here. So, giving examples and non-examples is also an example of contrast. So, if you're teaching herbivores, so you tell a lion is not a herbivore, a goat is a herbivore. That is a simple example of contrast, right? The third is emphasis. We do a lot of this in our classes. We underline, bold. Then, the most important topic we write in big, capital letters. That is nothing but emphasis. If you see here, all the dots are white, one is yellow. So your eyes is directly directed to that dot. So that is what emphasis does. You can do with in your education also. If you repeat, the main point after every 10 minutes, again, you're giving, emphasizing that main concept so that it's drilled inside your students, right? That is emphasis. We have all been doing this. It's just that we have to now consciously try and put everything in our sessions, right? Movement is again, a lot of times we use animation, so that, one point is revealed out the other. Sometimes we use those animations of books if you're telling a poetry. So that is movement. Sometimes you just clap, so that the attention comes to you. As simple as that. So movements can be used in various different ways, but be very sure you don't get overboard. Don't use too many animations. Don't use transitions which are just not required. So then you have to be again, balance comes in play, right? Movement has to be just right so that it's not distracting. The fifth one is rhythm. Rhythm is nothing but using some patterns again and again so that you create some harmony, right? So in poetries, you have rhythm by, in the end of the last words are rhyming. So that is rhythm. How do we do it in lesson planning or lessons is, for example, if you have presentations, every time you do an activity, you can have the slide colored in blue or gray or whatever you want with a bell. So first time students will say, oh, what is this? And then, you tell them there is an activity and this is how, we'll divide you in groups and this is what you have to do. Next time you do a session, as soon as a slide of yellow or blue color comes with a bell, students are already ready. They know he will be divided into groups. You have already told the instructions. Even if you are repeating them, they already know and they are in the mode of getting into the thinking space, right? Lot of times, in your classroom, you have thinking corners, and and you make the timetables for adjusting the rhythm of the students, right? So similarly, you can add some rhythm to your lesson plans also. Hierarchy, very important. When you have complex, content, you can divide into chunks. You can have the main topic and subtopic. In every class, you can take one or two subtopics. Don't, unless the subtopic is very long, don't have, subtopic half here, half there. Try to finish one subtopic in one session. So that is how you use hierarchy. Here, if you see the line is bold and then it's becoming duller, that is how they have shown hierarchy. White space again is very important when you design your worksheets, you design your presentations or videos. You have to ensure there's enough space. If you see in this slide also, it's very clear that principles of design and there's enough white space, it's balanced. So how to use white space is also very important. When you make worksheets, make sure you don't put small margins, you put high, normal margins so that you can, give comments. So that is how you use white space. And finally, unity, it's nothing new. Unity is like using all these principles and small elements of your lesson so that they are cohesive in one. So they first slide, feeds into the other, or the first part, your pre-test feeds into your introduction of learning objectives. The introduction of learning feeds to, what you're teaching, and that feeds to your summary. Your basically you're trying to create a whole lesson. So that is all, simple principles of design. So why do we need to, actually learn this? So let's analyze. This is a blog which I'll take you to. This is a blog site of OrangeSlates. Here you can actually see all these designs in play. If you see the first blog is interactive activities in classrooms. Again, the blog topic is bold and big so that it creates interest. The picture is also very, very interactive. You see students in small groups. You see somebody doing something with color, somebody doing with something with cube. So you know that this blog is talking about more how I can put interactive activities in classrooms. Similarly, if you see what teachers say for Independence Day, if you see here, each blog picture is on the left and whatever written is on the right. If the picture is on the right, something is written on the left. So again, you're creating a harmony through formatting, right? So this picture is on experiential learning and it's so relatable, right? The person is trying to see something with experience the environment. So that is why experiential learning. Then we have, a session on graphic organizers. So maybe for some people, this term graphic organizer, visual organizers is new. So that is why the picture clearly says what, graphic, your mind map is one kind of graphic organizer. Let's go into this session. If you see the session has clear, bold topic, some parts of it are bold, learn. So you're trying to emphasize these terms, like if you use them you learn and enjoy, then it's a metacognitive tool. Then the different kind of graphic organizers are bold, but some things are italicized. Why they are not bold? Because you want to create a difference. So the uses of graphic organizers, you have italicized, the important points you have bold. So these are some of how you can, some of the principles of design have come to use. So let me go ahead. So why visual design? Again, we want to use visuals not just for decoration. Obviously, we want them to say a lot of story. We want students to make a lot of connection. So let me take you to a information processing model, which I think most of you know, but let's revise it. So what is an information processing model? Is that how you remember, retain, and understand information, right? So when you're right now you're looking at this YouTube. So what you're doing, you're using your senses to take all information. While looking at this YouTube, there is a fan on, there might be some bird chirping, there's some children talking, but you choose to ignore because you're interested in knowing more about this topic. So when you select what you want to listen and concentrate on, it goes on to the working memory. And working memory is that where we want to make it stronger. Because working memory is trying to retrieve information from the past, from the long-term memory, right? And also whatever important and something which you feel is very required gets transferred from the working memory to the long memory, right? Long-term memory. So it's important to create your working memory very strong. And how we can do is using through visuals or using these principles which we can use to mix visuals, videos, information, and so much together to make a cohesive lesson plan. So what we can do is we can provide this information. So we do not load our memory with too much of, too much information on the slide, or you're talking too much. We don't want load the memory so that some of it is just lost. So we make our information crisp. We simplify and organize our content. So sometimes the content is only complex, right? There are derivatives. Usme se you have to do some sums and you have to do some. So the content is complex. So how do you do it? You chunk it into small parts and organize it. So to make a better lesson plan, then it helps you in making connections. Obviously, we have some some things stored in our schema already about that subject. For example, all of you knew what is visuals. All of you had a idea of what is visual design. But how we make connected connections is by telling you those principles so that you can use it in your lesson planning. In fact, you can use these principles just to design one slide also. So this is how we can use visual design, and also we can use visuals to give clear and quick feedback. So the smileys, nowadays we are using smileys and stars, clear and quick, and in Word we use those bubbles. So this is how we can use visual design in our day-to-day life. Before ending the session, I like to show you a picture which shows all the principles which we're talking about. So there's rhythm, there is balance. So if you see the lady is big, so and the mountain and the scene behind is little far away. You can make out, that is how you balance. There's a unity, there's movement in the picture. So that is all about visual design for today. Thank you. Are there any questions? Just let me look at them. Let me look at YouTube. I don't think so. There are any questions right now. But we at OrangeSlates are available here. You can write any questions and we'll reply to you.